Hello, BookTube. I have a nice small 2-package mail haul for you here. And that might sound like a nice relaxed endeavor, something that we'll get through in a few minutes and that'll be that. But it isn't. This is an intensely important mail haul. Because one of the 2 packages contains your destiny. So, we'll go to the first package first, as if we're tra-la-la normal. It's a manila envelope. Let's see what's in here. All while the leaden footsteps of destiny are approaching. But we'll do this first one. Let's see what we have here. Okay, this is some sort of novel. It comes out in February, so I don't have to think about it right away. Certainly looks kind of nice. This is Second Sister by Chan Ho Kei. Second Sister. When award-winning author Chan Ho Kei made his English language debut in The Borrowed, it was lauded as powerful social commentary on a fraught socio-political history of Hong Kong. Now, in his newest novel, he takes his skill for nuanced cultural criticism and sweeps into the present, where a hyper-modern Hong Kong is besieged by the problems of the digital age. Not a thin book. Hackers thrive in the city's digital underbelly, and the American investors compete for a spot in the latest startup, all while teenage students buckle under the impossible social and academic pressures foisted upon them by their families and their peers. It's in the midst of this frenetic city that teenager Sui Man lives with her older sister and guardian Nya Yi. When Sui Man leaps to her death from the ledge of their 22nd story window, her guardian is blindsided. She decides it must be foul play and sets out to uncover the truth behind her sister's death. She contacts a hacker and a cybersecurity expert known only as N to investigate and discovers that someone has been smearing Sui Nan's reputation online. What follows is a thriller cat-and-mouse game through the city and its digital underground that rips open Hong Kong's modern exterior and exposes the dark webs of power that flourish underneath. That sounds really good. The author was born and raised in Hong Kong. He has worked as a software engineer, a scriptwriter, and a game designer, and the editor of comic magazines. His first novel, The Man Who Sold the World, won the Soji Shimada Mystery Award, the biggest mystery award in the Chinese language world, and was published in 5 languages. Okay, well, this comes out in late February. That sounds really good. So I put it on the pile of 2020 books. But that's a fine start. And that is also an ending. Because the next book is not a new release. The next book is from Book Depository. It said so right there on the cardboard of the package. And some of you may recall, just recently I made a 2-book order on Book Depository. One was a lark. And the edition ended up being wonderful. So happy that I got it. The other of the 2 books that I ordered that day on Book Depository was an older book, and not just any older book, but the book that is our next mandatory read-along on this channel, and therefore on all channels. I try to use this power sparingly. We've only had 1 mandatory read-along on this channel, and it was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. We are now going to have our second mandatory read-along, and that means that you must do it. It is mandatory. It's going to be for November. I'm giving you time to get a copy of the book and to maybe get your feet underneath you, and also to make your spiritual peace with the fact that I am co-opting a chunk of your reading time. So here is the Book Depository package. And let's just hope that this came out exactly as ordered. Oh, it did. Oh, good. This is our next mandatory read-along. It will be taking place in November, and it is the single most important book by a single author ever written in the history of mankind, and that is On the Origin of Species by Charles Darwin. This is the lovely Penguin Classic. I noticed as soon as I saw it on Book Depository that it didn't actually have this, and so I ordered it right away. And now you have time, a month, to find, beg, borrow, order, or download a copy of this yourself. Of course, it's free. I mean, you can find an electronic copy free in dozens of different sites online. And you might be saying, well, but Steve, I had reading plans for November. And what about all the other stuff that you're making us read in November? You've got Thomas Covenant, you've got Dune. And also, what about BookTube events, the biggest and most respected one of all being Nonfiction November? What about NaNoWriMo? Are you expecting us to read The Origin of Species in addition to all that? And the answer is yes, I am. I'm not just expecting it, I'm demanding it. Because this isn't an optionary read-along. This is a mandatory read-along. So, in addition to reading the Dune book for November, I don't even know which one that would be. Heretics of Dune, I think, by then. That's, of course, voluntary. And in addition to Thomas Covenant, I believe that in November we will be reading The One Tree. And in addition to NaNoWriMo, which is, for those of you who maybe don't know the term, National Novel Writing Month, where you write a novel, the beginning of a novel, 50,000 words in the month of November. And in addition to Nonfiction November, a great BookTube event that will be going on all throughout the month, there is also a mandatory read-along. So if you had reading plans of your own for November, you might want to just get rid of them, because it doesn't sound to me like you're going to have the time. So we'll go into the details of this a little later on. You have, the next 3 weeks, something like that, 3.5 weeks, to get yourself a copy of this book. There are 80 million editions. It won't be hard. And then in November, we will commence with our mandatory read-along on The Origin of Species by Charles Darwin. So there you go. That was our mail haul. We have a little bit of fun. Second Sister, that sounds like a lot of fun. And also the book that is our next mandatory read-along. Charles Darwin's great book. So there you go. A short mail haul, of course. There are only 2 books. So I'll wrap this up for now, but I'll be back. We have plenty more stuff to talk about. So I'll see you then. Thank you, BookTube.